Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Tonight's live is a little bit different because we will be working with a breathwork practice. But I'm also going to discuss a bit about how breathwork relates to body-mind healing and why it helps, what's actually happening in the body, because I find that stuff super interesting. So I'll just give it a moment and then we'll get started. Let me know, whenever you're watching this, let me know if you have any questions about this topic. As always, drop them in the comments and I'll respond. And yeah, let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. Let me know who you are, say hi. It's always nice. Always nice to know who I'm talking to. And whether you're watching live or on the recording, feel free to reach out at any time with any questions about yoga, meditation, journaling, or well-being in general. So this stuff I really love talking about, how the body and the mind interrelate, and how it's so incredible that we can heal our own system, we can heal our own bodies. We have control. We have so much more control than we give ourselves credit for or than we're necessarily taught. We have a very dependent culture medically, and whilst there's definitely place for medicine doctors and reaching out and going to seek a medical practitioner and professional, we also have a lot of agency in maintaining a level base of okay. So we can do actions to help our own nervous systems and to stay healthy as much as possible. Obviously other things happen, and when they do, we need to seek professional help. But in terms of keeping a base rate of health and nourishment, we can nourish our bodies, we can exercise, and we can also manage our stress levels. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. To look at how using the breath can influence and affect our stress levels and really bring that sense of calm to the body. So I'm going to explain how. We talked before about the body-mind connection, and if you missed that video, then it's in the Facebook group and it's also on YouTube, so you can check that video out if you're interested, and especially if the information in this video resonates, then there's more information there. But body and mind are basically intricately connected, as you will know, and so anything that stresses us emotionally can have an impact in our bodies and affect us physically. And the vice versa, anything that affects us physically can have an emotional impact on our minds and our stress levels. So it goes both ways. But then around that, there's also the fact that we can use our physical practices to reduce the effects of stress and anxiety, both emotionally and physically. Now, the way that can happen, the main factor is the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is like a big, long nerve that comes out from the base of our skull, the cranium, and goes all the way down, linking to different areas of the body. The vagus nerve is particularly interesting because it works with both sensory and motor actions. So that means sensory are things like smell and taste and hearing responses. And then motor actions are things like muscle movement. Okay, so the vagus nerve uses both of those things or controls both of those things, is responsible for breathing. Our heart rate connects to the heart rate. It connects to our bellies. It connects to the throat. It's responsible for swallowing, sneezing, coughing, things like that. And it's called the vagus nerve because it's like a vagrant. It's so kind of long. I think it's the longest nerve in the body, connecting body and mind. And it has been known as the like body-mind connection, how it's all connected. And research is ongoing into exactly how powerful this nerve is for our well-being. People call it like the well-being nerve, and also it's been connected to the soul. So this kind of interchangeable and interdynamic nerve in the body that's between the physical and the rest, the spiritual, the energetic, the emotional, the other realms. So as you may have noticed, the breathing, heart rate, tummy, stomach, all these things are often areas that we feel when we're stressed. So our heart rate goes faster, our breathing goes faster, our tummy can feel uncomfortable and anxious. Stimulating the vagus nerve induces the relaxation response and it's like, if you think of it like a cord that you can kind of pluck and just induce that stress response. So we have that stress relaxation response, stress reduction response. So we can do that if we learn how to activate and stimulate that cord, then we can literally reduce our heart rate. So when we breathe, how that happens is if we use diaphragmatic breathing, that stimulates the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve sends a signal up to the brain, and then the brain sends one back down to the heart rate to say slow down. So we breathe slowly, and then that signal goes straight to the heart rate, slows down the heart rate because the heart needs less oxygen, less is being demanded on the heart, and that slows down the rest of our system. It effectively switches on our rest and digest mode, which is necessary for long-term healing and long-term survival, and switches off our fight or flight mode, which is like short-term survival and a stress response. So as we learned before in the other video that I spoke about, stress is like central to inflammation, disease, and health problems. So this is how it all links together. And today we're going to practice some diaphragmatic breathing, so 3-part breath. That's going to help stimulate the vagus nerve and induce a relaxation response, the rest and digest, to promote healing and to ensure you are regulating your nervous system. And you can do this at any time. You can do it like in the day, in the middle of the day, just take 5 minutes and take some long, deep breaths. The exhale is where the vagus nerve really becomes stimulated. That's like where our vagus activity is highest and the heart rate is lowest. It's on the exhale. So we're going to focus on long, smooth exhales and deep inhales. And I want you to breathe with your own rhythm, so with your own pace. And we're going to, as you inhale, expand your belly and then expand your ribs. Think of your ribs kind of parting, and then allow the chest to swell. And then as you exhale, reduce the breath from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. So it's this 3-part. You breathe into the belly, into the ribs, and into the chest. Exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. And as you exhale, maybe a little contraction of your lower abdominals at the very base of your exhale, which allows you to really go to the bottom of that breath. So all the way down to the bottom. All right, so I will cue the breathing, but as I say, go with your own pace and your own rhythm. Gonna inhale through the belly, the ribs, and up into the chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, 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 chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. And continue to breathe in this way for a few more rounds with your own rhythm. And without any strain, so allow the rest of your body to soften. If you notice you're holding tension in your shoulders or anywhere else in the body, in the jaw, just invite a softening and allow the breath to roll in and out smoothly and softly without forcing anything. After your next exhale, release the breathing practice. In yoga, it's called pranayama. Release the pranayama. And just notice how you feel now. Notice how your body feels, how your mind feels. See if you can notice, observe the sensations and the effects of this breathing practice. And if it's something that's not common to your day-to-day, if you're not used to breathing practices, you might find that it took a moment to get used to controlled breathing, and that can be stressful. Like anything that we don't know, we have to learn and practice over time for it to become more natural, and then we can really relax into it. So if you did find it triggering or stressful, then don't worry, just keep practicing, because it's scientifically helpful. You know, the body, there's so many studies to show how this stuff is all connected, and it's super helpful for reducing stress and anxiety, and thus the physical effects of stress and anxiety. So keep practicing, and you can come back to this video anytime you want. And what we're essentially doing by breathing through the belly like that, we're not actually taking breath into the belly, of course, because the lungs stop. The lungs are where we bring in the air. But what we're doing is, by expanding the bottom of the lungs, the very base of the lungs, we push the diaphragm down, and that's what makes the belly go out. And that diaphragmatic breathing, allowing that diaphragm to lower, is what triggers the vagus nerve and that rest or digest response. So All right. Well, I hope you're feeling good. Thank you for joining. Thank you for showing up for yourself and doing the work. And use this anytime. Like I said, you can do this anytime you start to feel stressed. Like when I feel like stress coming on, I just breathe through my diaphragm, and I immediately feel that like calming. And I can slow my heart rate down. And you might notice it when you do it. As you inhale, you fill up, and as you exhale, you can literally notice your heart rate slowing. If you're really tuning in and say you're anxious and your heart rate is up and feeling stressed and rapid, take these breathing practices and just notice, observe that slowing of your heart rate as you breathe. It's really incredible that we have the tools to do that, and we can literally monitor and affect our physical systems just by breathing. It's amazing. I find it so amazing. So anyway, I will see you next time. Have a gorgeous day and week, and drop any comments if you have any, or send me a message. And yeah, I will see you again soon. Big hugs.